Hello, precious people. How are you? Happy Friday, first of all, and a huge welcome to episode 5 of Domain TV. Gosh, I cannot believe we're already on episode 5. I can't believe how much has occurred in the last 4 to 5 weeks. So it's all very exciting, very wondrous. And we hope you're really, really well before we get going with today's episode. So today we're going to be looking ahead actually. So rather than doing more of a kind of evidence spotlight, which we will keep coming back to, this week we were guided to talk more about looking into the future and more about global and environmental perspectives with Domain as well, because those are going to light some of you up. And we probably haven't spoken about those loads in the previous episodes. So we're going to speak about those today. Then we're going to be looking at incredible, precious ACCELER energy, and also gorgeous Nelson, wonderful Nelson Mandela is here as a key part of the non-physical team. He is an incredible energy for Domain, and so we'll be speaking about him today. His energy is already here. And then we're going to be talking about all the good stuff that's coming up, because there is so much good stuff. Now, the book's out, the School of Domain Energetics is up and running. It's like almost like showtime, like literally so much good stuff coming that we're offering and wanting to keep sharing with you guys, just to help as many people as we can to get off of the ground running with Domain and using it in the ways that they want to use it in their lives. So I'm just going to check this is all playing okay before we get started. Bear with me, and then we will get crack-a-lacking. So just give me a moment if that's okay, please. Yeah, we're all good. Is the sound working? Let me just check that's all good. Yes, it is. Brilliant. Okay, so let's get going. So looking ahead. So it's been a really beautiful week. So what have we been up to this last week we want to tell you about? Obviously, the Domain Immersion Live experience is up and running. And I have to say, it's incredible. We're just loving it. We're loving those that are doing it. We're loving the energy that's being created, that foundational energy in the School of Domain Energetics. And we're loving the diversity of those that are doing the programme and how each energy is utterly unique. And that's what we always want to champion through all work we do with Domain Energetics at Sarah Morgan Global. It is about togetherness and community and love and family, but it's also the individuality that each person brings. They're each kind of individual physical setup, their individual non-physical and energetic setup, and just showcasing each person individually and how we can all come together and complement. And if you think about like living in an ideal world, I'm being given the song from God. I can't remember the lyrics. I wish that I could teach the world to sing and live in harmony. Da, 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 da. If you think about the connotations of that song and like that wonderful world where everyone's living in harmony, but everyone's like just beautifully individually who they are, and that wonderful variety between people and who we all are. It's that kind of energy. And so whenever you work with Domain yourself, your experience will be very different from another person's experience. Your energetic setup will be very different from another person's energetic setup. And it's so beautiful to explore and uncover that. And each of you will find that as you're progressing your own journeys forward with Domain, however you're wanting to. Hi, Kerry, darling. Mwah, lovely to see you. And so what's been happening really beautifully, and we have written about this in the Domain Energetics book, Our World What Comes Next, which is available on Amazon worldwide and several other places now, actually, which is beautiful. What's been really coming up is that each person, as an example on the Domain Immersion Live experience, they are, and it was the same with the Domain leaders as well, and anyone that kind of works with Domain moving forwards, they're wanting to kind of use it for themselves, but there is this kind of environmental and global angle that kind of wants to come in as well, which is really beautiful, because if you think about the diversity of our earth, we want lots of us doing incredible energetics for ourselves individually, but for different aspects of earth as well. And we always wrote in the book, even if you think about the title, and it says here, creating amazing possibilities for humans and Earth, it's always been that kind of tandem approach, like how we can use domain to help ourselves as humans, but how we can use it to help the Earth. And that includes everything on it, you know, nature, environment, animals, and humans, of course, also. So there's always kind of been these two strands. And I think on the previous Domain TV episodes, we have been talking more about the human side. But a really big part of what we want to do with Domain, you know, in terms of what we're sharing with the world, is to help people use Domain for our precious planet as well. Endless opportunities and new solutions for us. Insight that we can receive from Domain that no one else knows about. It's incredible what we have access to through Domain. And what I've really started to notice this week is that area starting to open up and wanting to be energized. And that's beautiful, because there are lots of you here who are going to feel lit up about using Domain for our Earth and understanding secrets about our Earth and uncovering incredible new possibilities for our Earth. And there's so much around this. You know, we've posted reels around Africa, and I've literally had people, like some of you, inbox me and go, oh my gosh, Africa. It's moving energy within you. And we now know, obviously, it's because Africa was the original continent, as we've written about in the book. And because it was, there's so much creational energy there, so much myriad energy there that works with Domain to allow us to create. But there's other incredible locations around our Earth, like Stonehenge in the UK has used myriad energy. Machu Picchu is another key one for me that I keep being shown I'm going to find out more about. Ancient Egypt also, Easter Island, Sigiriya Rock, if that's how you pronounce it, in India. And I remember visiting that like 20 plus years ago when I was taking a gap year with my precious best friend, whose name I want to say but I won't because you may not want me to, and the energy there. And so whenever you're thinking of places where you're literally just drawn to that energy and you're like, oh my gosh, you're experiencing magic, legacy, myriad energy so potently, and we're going to uncover more and more about this. So what's really beautiful is we're really kind of energizing everyone to sort of get working with Domain for themselves, but what I can feel is starting to come forward now is starting to kind of go into this more kind of global and environmental side as well, so that the two run in tandem. And of course, some of you may have seen on the Sarah Morgan Global website, one of the things that we're going, and I've also read about in the book, one of the main things we want to do here is work with Africa, Thrive Projects Africa. And so we're going to be offering a Thrive Projects Africa diploma that's going to start next summer. And the timing of that is being kind of put for next summer, because in the meantime there's lots of time still to educate and help and spread the word about Domain, to kind of gather the right energies that want to participate in Thrive Projects Africa and gaining a certified Thrive Projects Africa diploma. I mean, it's just going to be so yum for those of you that lights you up. It won't be for everyone, but for some of you, you'll really feel the draw to that. And you know, if we think about Martha, the ocean's collective consciousness, some of the magic myself and other Domain leaders, and some of you that are exploring Domain in whatever guise that is at the moment, some of the magic that we've seen within Martha as well, like universe energy at the kind of bottom depths of Martha, it's incredible. And myriad that works hand in hand with Domain, which we've spoken about on previous episodes, is just like chomping at the bit, she's saying, to literally flow us insight, keep unearthing Earth secrets. You know, in this book we have a section, the second part, which we're going to start with the second read along next week. Sorry, the third read along next week of this book. We're going to be starting part 2, which is all about unearthing Earth secrets. So part 2 here. There's so much that Myriad wants to share with us. It's really exciting. Hi, Mickey, darling. And so this is a whole area that is just going to be so beautiful with what we're doing here with Sarah Morgan Global, and how we're kind of working with some of you guys. Like we often say, we see some of you kind of literally working with us with things like Thrive Projects Africa, or uncovering secrets around things like Machu Picchu. It's like, this is why it's a community and about all of us working together, not kind of just one person kind of leading. It's like everybody kind of equally working together in such a beautiful way. And so I can just feel the energy. This is something that's wanting to really open up now. So, you know, and again, some people, as an example on the Domain Immersion Live experience, kind of suddenly realising that they can actually have massive influence and have massive help and effect with environmental things. And I don't know that they saw that when they joined the programme, and it's kind of really eye-opening for them. Others, of course, joined the programme knowing that they did have a real interest in Earth and the environment. So each journey is so beautiful and different. And so, yeah, just more wonder, more magic. So when we think about looking ahead, more environmental, more global perspectives, it could be anything. Like we always say, check out our incredible domain leaders on the Sarah Morgan Global website. So many of them have different passions and interests and areas of specialty that can help different aspects of our environment. Yes, I'm personally focusing more on Africa, but they all have their different areas as well. And you will, as you start to work with domain, find that you're drawn to certain things as well. But, you know, it could be anything that you could use domain for. And what's so beautiful is it might share something with you, like a direction with you, or a passion or focus with you that you didn't even know was coming, but literally really lights you up. So this is an energy that's definitely building now, and some of you might feel that as you listen to this. So, you know, I've been shown, as I've said in the book, and may have mentioned on a couple of these TV episodes very briefly, I've been shown, you know, one of my very early first, well, the first most profound interaction I had with domain was being shown vast chambers of water under Africa that people don't know about. This is the thing. People understand there is water below the surface, but they don't know about these chambers yet. They're really deep down. And how with sequencing that we can utilise from domain, which Myriad would show us, we can take sequencing from water on another planet, and that sequencing of that water makes that water seek the light, so it rises to the surface. If we can when, not if, God's saying when, we're ready to recreate that sequencing for the vast chambers of water under Africa, we can help get that water up, helping the Amazon rainforest to grow a lot faster, you know, helping to remedy things like, you know, the imbalanced climate, helping to repair the ozone layer, helping to repair our oceans, helping to break down household waste more easily, helping to, you know, eradicate landfill, again, helping to, you know, think about stagnant areas of water. I'm being shown when I was going around India a few years ago, some of the water is so awfully stagnant, but being shown, again, sequencing that would help clean that water. I mean, it's just endless. And the thing is, as you're working with domain in this way, you're going to feel Sali, Earth's consciousness, working with you as well as Nelson and God and domain. And if you're working with the oceans, Martha really present as well. And, you know, more non-physical energies that will keep coming forwards for us to, you know, help us. One of the domain leaders in particular received the collective consciousness of trees as an example. That's not for me to share, that's for her to share, even when she wants to. I will always share about the things that I've received. So there's just endless possibility. And what we want to say is, I can feel God saying, because I can feel kind of different flows today of energy as we're doing this TV episode, don't feel like it's too big, and it's not a race. So yes, there's lots of things in the world that we want to help, even things like political unrest, what's going on with inequality in the world, all of those things domain can help with. But remembering it is a movement, change that is irreversible does take some time, but we will always do it in the fastest way possible. So when we think about the environment, I think two things can happen is what God's saying. Sometimes we can feel a bit overwhelmed and just think, gosh, I don't even know where to start with that. And can just one person make a difference? And again, we talk in the domain book about even using domain energetics in your home. You can feel and notice that you are really making a difference. So there's that side of things. But there's also, it's a bit like, I'm not sort of really sure where to start, or it's a bit like, it is so huge, like, how can I actually do it? But it's not just about you as one person, it's about this community and movement that is building, which is why if you think of like the cover photo on this particular Facebook page, you know, Domain Energetics for a Better World, join the movement. It is that loving movement energy that Nelson was always so good at and is really awesome at in non-physical as well. And it's very, very, very loving. So as you're listening to this, some of you may feel now, because energetics and good are always flowing through every sort of piece of content that we share, you may feel your energy starting to open up a bit, and you may start to feel that it's not too big, it's not out of reach. And again, there's two things kind of to say in addition to that as well, just based on our experience of using Domain ourselves and helping others. It's understanding that actually, yes, Domain can feel very big to start with, but actually you can get to a point where you're like, yep, Domain and Myriad give me access to all of the multiverses, freaking awesome, let's go. Like it starts to not feel too big. You feel very comfortable with it, like being like, cool, show me what you want to show me. Take me wherever you want to take me, energetically, as I'm transversing Myriad, although physically here on the ground, like show it to me. So there's that side of things where it can feel, you sort of move beyond it feeling too big. And what was the other thing that I was going to say? It will come back to me if it's meant to. Sometimes when I'm kind of talking, lots of other energy comes in as well. So it's not too big. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, there we go, is that what I've also noticed with Domain in my own experience and others that I'm working with and have worked with as well, is that there's something about Domain that's very tangible, even though it's non-physical and it's located beyond our multiverses, although there are aspects of it on Earth. Although it's non-physical and mostly very far away, of course, slight understatement, very far away when we're talking about beyond our multiverses, there's a real tangibleness to it, because when you work with it and you get sequencing that's coming from a very specific source, it could be like water, water on a different planet, or the stamen of a plant, or somewhere within Earth's core, when you're seeing it bring something from somewhere so specific that you didn't even know of, it can feel really left field, and that's part of the utter delight and wonder of it, because you just never know where it's going to draw from. When you see that sequencing and then you feel your energy gathering it, and then you feel your energy putting it to the target, and then you see the physical change that ensues, there's like a tangibleness to it that I haven't experienced before, genuinely, with other energetics. I can't explain it more than that. I just know there's a tangibleness to it. So rather than thinking, am I making a difference? You know that you are, because of the specificity of it, which is brilliant. It's so satisfying, and there's no energetic wasteland. It's yet like, yeah, that's really precise. I'm getting that. Thank you for showing me that. I never would have thought of it, because I didn't even know it existed, because it's all new that you're showing me and you're taking it and you're sharing it. It's like, there's a real tangibility to it, and this is important, God's saying, because obviously Domain is here to become a go-to for people to use in their day-to-day. So to be able to kind of feel the tangibility of something that's actually very non-physical and energetic is incredible. So again, you'll start to experience this the more you start to interact with it and explore Domain as well. So what else do I want to say? Because there is this kind of new energy that's really coming in around this kind of more environmental and global awareness. It's something that's going to be really important for us at Sarah Morgan Global, of course, a really kind of key part of our focus, as well as helping people use Domain for themselves and potentially their homes and families and communities and surroundings. So there is this wider focus that is starting to energize now, particularly with some of those that are doing the Domain Immersion live experience. It's like really starting to move in that direction. And so if ever that's of interest of any of you, we will always be doing our best to create offerings that are going to help you in all areas that might be of interest to you. So we're always going to do the best that we can to offer as much variety as we can in terms of offerings through the School of Domain Energetics, because that's where the energetics are powerhousing, and to help as many of you as possible. So you might just feel your energy opening up a bit as you're listening to this, is what I'm being guided to say. And it's a really beautiful thing, and it almost could move me to tears, because it's like, this is a really important part of what we wanted to do. So let me just have a little read of Mickey's comments. Hi Sarah, I've used domain already to help with my health and vibrancy and I feel it's work. Awesome. There's the tangibility. Evidence. And this is why in the future we want to work with scientists as well that can like literally document the Amazon trees that we're working on growing faster than others that aren't. So awesome. And it will have worked because you've got the book, you've been reading it, the energetics within the book are triggering things for you to like help you just get going with domain. So really well done. For the first time in a long time, I woke myself laughing in my sleep. Brilliant. I love this. I think it's the domain book I'm reading. Is it domain or my other energetic ID, Enigma? Domain can be really fun. And just so you know, again, some that are doing the domain emergent live experience, they're like having dreams in the way that they haven't done for a really long time. Some of them are really understanding that actually their energy is all about humour and fun and joy. So I'm getting that it's domain and the energetics from domain. And if you think about the fact we always say delight in domain, because I know when I first understood about domain a few years ago and I was getting overwhelmed by it, it's because I was like, oh my God, this is really serious. I have to use it to change the world. I've really got to use this to do really important stuff and I can't do that. That's too scary. But what I've learned is domain's about lightness and delighting in it. And that's what people are experiencing that are working with it, exactly like you're experiencing. It's that delight. It's not meant to be arduous or heavy or overwhelming. It's light. You can explore it. You can have fun with it and like banter with it, like, because it does have that consciousness as well. And it's showcasing to you domain saying the lightness and so for you in non-physical, your energy and interaction with domain was really fun. And it was very kind of joyous and kind of playful. And so that's correct energy for you is what domain's saying, rather than kind of heavy, oh my God, I have to read all of this and I have to use it all. It's the lightness. And this is why we've written the book in the way that we have. You'll see if I show you, it's quite spaced out, nice size font. It's not all really heavy and condensed. It's written in a high level way that is perfect to get your energy going with domain, but without, you know, drawing you down into loads of detail if that's not what you're wanting. If you want to get more detail, after reading this book, you can go and get more detail on these things and receive from domain also. But it is about lightness and delighting, even when you're using domain to help with things like political unrest or remedying the environment and rebalancing things. It will feel good to work with it. And that's really important. And that's how we've wanted to honour domain in physical and teach it and share it, because we want energetics to feel flipping good. So hopefully that helps, my darling. So thank you for the question. If anyone else has any questions live or on replay, just let me know. So yeah, feels really good, this energy that's opening up around environmental and global perspectives. Get ready, because it's going to be flipping awesome. And I can't do it on my own. I want you guys, the ones of you that want to get involved, to come and get involved and explore and do this alongside me. And this is why anyone that does anything, even just one thing through the School of Domain Energetics, will go into the Pathway to Thrive Facebook group, which is like the kind of golden Facebook group, the kind of energetic place where it's going to become fuller and fuller of people that have worked with domain in a very powerful way through the school. And we are going to continue to share and do stuff together. So that is going to become, like, it already is a really precious group, but that's just going to keep growing. So it's really, really beautiful. Oh, so much love. Okay, so on to the domain hone-in. So stunning ACCELER energy and the wonderful Nelson. So Nelson's here today, which is beautiful. So some of you may feel his energy on the other side of this, or may know that he's there, or see or hear. Everyone's very different with their receiving, going back to individuality and celebrating that. But ACCELER energy is flipping stunning. Okay, so ACCELER energy. So Nelson used ACCELER energy like an older version of it when he was physical, without consciously knowing. Now, because of awakening and evolving and so much energetic change that's happening on our earth, it's now kind of a more potent ACCELER energy, and it's a divine energy. And because of my work with it, I've sort of almost molded it and shaped it and done even more new with it. So with ACCELER energy, that is now the energy that will take you to eternal enlightenment, if that's something that you're wanting. So what is that, and what does that feel like? Internal enlightenment means moving away from the go-get and the struggle and the push. Thank you very much, I'm done with that. And eternally flowing in peaceful, beautiful energy. Now, it doesn't mean you're still not going to have your ups and downs, because we're physical humans living on a physical landscape. Such is the tapestry and wonder and beauty of life that things will occur. But you'll find you're much more in an energy of bliss, and it holds and holds and holds. So rather than kind of fleeting moments of bliss, the more you energize ACCELER, naturally through working with Domain as well, those periods of bliss last and last and last and get longer and longer and longer until you basically spend the majority of your time flowing in that, or a massive chunk of each day flowing in that. Even if it takes you a little while to get going in the morning. So my personal experience is often getting going in the mornings. I'm a bit like, whoa, it's a bit early, I've got lots to do. But by the time I get up and running, I'm like, oh, and I spend most of my hours each day in that energy, and it's incredible, and it's an eternal change. So even when you're non-physical, you're eternally in that eternal enlightenment and flowing in that ACCELER energy. So it's got all of those aspects to it. It helps to enhance our physical and energetic experience, but just physically turning up colour, light and sounds so they feel and are experienced by you in a more vivid way. So again, just turning up the utter, I can't find the right word, scrumminess, so not the right word, of life, but the utter kind of enrapture of being physical on this earth and just making the most of it. And I know that can sound so cliche. The number of times I have heard over the years, make the most of this life, you have one life. It's like, yeah, I get it consciously, but I don't feel it. It's just a bit cliche. What you'll find with Domain and ACCELER is you get it, you feel it. You're like, oh my God, I want to bite down on each day, even the days that might be a bit trickier. It's like, I get it. I'm so connected to it all. I get it. It's like heightened living. It literally is. And so there's that side of it as well, which is the side of it that I experience every day as well. You know, every day, even just looking out this window when I'm doing lives, although I'm looking at you as well. But then there's also a real kind of precision to it. So it's like by you being in peace, it's like your energetic velocity just soars and just excels, hence ACCELER energy. So you could be flowing in bliss and everything you're touching, you're like, frick, yeah, like shit hot, basically. I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And I'm not spending loads and loads of energy on it and, you know, going down rabbit holes. I'm just kind of doing this, and it's like I'm just bossing it type thing. It's got that real precision to it, which feels very elevating and very transcendental, actually. Transcendental is such a wonderful word, and don't think just dictionary definition or transcendental meditation, because I've done transcendental meditation myself, and of course loads of people love it, but you are kind of still. Whereas transcendental, the way we're talking about it, is like you are switched on, you're connected, you're plugged in, you're tuned in, you're like, aha, it's like the upper echelons of like kind of all-encompassing living, basically. So it brings that side to it as well, where you're just like, you feel like you've got a superpower. And this is something we did a reel on this week, and I know quite a few of you like that as well. But it is true. If you think about films like Marvel or stories that are centuries old, people doing incredible things, kind of having superpowers. What I've learned over my own energetic journey over the last 5 years or so is there's never any smoke without fire. The reason people are drawn to those kind of things, or stories or films about magic, is because it's truth. It's resonating with truth in them, that they have that side of them where they can use energetics, they can use magic, they can use energetic capabilities or energy holdings like Domain. They're sparking within them a truth that there's more within them. And I always used to say, it's really interesting we only use 10% of our brain. What's the rest of it there for? I always knew it was there for more. And so much of it, of course, is about energetics, and just kind of feel the truth of that. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, of course, there's like a whole freaking multiverse and beyond out there that we can access. We just need to develop our energetic and non-physical side to open that up. We need to just become high vibration, awaken, evolve, etc., which most people that read the Domain Energetics book, that will happen for if they haven't already awakened. But many people around the world are awakening, evolving and advancing naturally anyway. But this book will just help to get kind of everyone over the line with it, hopefully, and if not, definitely through the School of Domain Energetics. So ACCELER energy is flipping stunning. It's so precious. It's so precious to have been able to shape it and mould it for all of us to use on Earth. Is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And as you guys continue to use ACCELER, it will continue to evolve and expand and develop as well. And so on to Nelson as well. I'm just going to read Emily's comment. Hi Emily, my darling. So wonderful that people can now feel the truth of how immense they are. Oh gosh, definitely. That is freedom. And if we know that Domain Energetics are all about accelerated freedom, that is freedom, isn't it? So Nelson. So Nelson's here. You may feel him as we're speaking. And I'm just seeing if he has a message, because I know in the read along on Wednesday, we read the message that he's written in the book, in this book. So we've already kind of shared that. So he's just, flowing lots of love to you and just thanking all of you for being here. Like, I'm literally seeing non-physically his eyes lit up and shining. I've never seen him in that way before. Very magical. What a special energy. And you might get some visuals in your mind's eye or some knowing as well as you're listening to this. His eyes are literally lit up, kind of sparkling, as he's just saying thank you so much to every single person that is a part of Domain in its very, very, very early stages. Because if you think about it, the Domain leaders and I were working with Domain for 12 months, but in terms of it being talked about more widely, it's only been 5 weeks, 4.5, 5 weeks. So he's just, there's so much love that he wants to share with each person that's listening to this or interacting in any way with Domain. And he's saying, just keep believing, keep using. We are the early pioneers and we are creating a legacy in our wake. There's just so much that's going to be happening because of what we're doing with Domain. That's going to be changing, remedying, resolving, he's saying. And he's really supporting all of us from his non-physical stance. And he is an almighty non-physical energy. I just freaking love him, as I'm sure many of you do as well as the rest of the Domain non-physical team, of course. But we're speaking about Nelson's Day in particular because he's just wanting to say thank you. Thank you for believing, thank you for loving, thank you for hoping. They're the three things, the only three things you need to work with Domain: belief, love and hope. And he's saying it's going to make me emotional. He had a vision for his time on Earth, and look what he helped to change. But of course, it wasn't always easy for him. There was a lot of unrest. It wasn't easy. Times are different now. Through Domain, there doesn't need to be any unrest. But he's so championing us behind the scenes about what we're doing and taking forward now, which is beyond what he could do in his physical lifetime just because the energies weren't around. But if you think about what he achieved and now what we're going to be able to achieve and take forward as well. And so he had a vision. It keeps making me want to cry. We have a vision, as in all of us, including him and the core Domain non-physical team, all of us here, we have a vision. We have to have the vision first to then make it occur. And we've got the vision. Utopious living for all is assured, but we can speed up that process and accelerate it with Domain and ACCELER energy by working with Domain. So there's a lot of love from him today. Some of you may, after you've listened to this, feel him around you quite a bit just because he's wanting to share the love, and thanks for being here. And obviously, as we've said, Nelson's incredible because out of the Domain non-physical team, he's the only one that's had a physical life experience here. So he gets that kind of two-way perspective and has just so much love for humans. Oh, it's going to make me cry. So really, really beautiful. So Nelson, again, such an incredible energy and that we get the privilege to work with. And he's saying it's a privilege for him that he gets to work with us. Thank you. But it's true for each of you. It's his privilege that he gets to work with you. So yes, like he's an energy that, again, as you work with Domain, might not be there all the time. I don't feel him with me all of the time, but he definitely comes in at different times. And he was definitely coming in yesterday. He's very present today, and that's lovely, kind of just being around and then stepping back for a bit and then being around again. It's really, really, really beautiful. So he's definitely an energy to note out for as you're working with Domain, or even after listening to this live today. Okay, so what else do we want to say? So what's coming up? Gosh, so much. I had no idea. I knew I had loads of visions and aspirations for Sarah Morgan Global and what we're doing with Domain Energetics. But a couple of days ago, I kind of collated, right, what next? And I was like, whoa, it's really exciting. So we're wanting to share with you here, before we actually get stuff fully up on the website, that we've kind of got different kind of engines going. We've got the book now that's starting to get out there and being shared. We've got the School of Domain Energetics, which is now up and running and being energized by those first souls in the Domain Immersion Live experience. We've kind of got those really two important things moving now. And so I always visualized that the book would be the thing that's accessible to as many people as possible. And those that really wanted to specialize in Domain, they'd have lots of different variety of things that they could choose to do through the School of Domain Energetics with myself and the Domain non-physical team. And so I always knew we would offer lots of different things. I just didn't realise that it would move this quickly, but I love it. So some of the things that we've got coming up, just to give you an idea of what to look out for, some of you may want to even book a free exploration call with me to chat about some of these things even before they actually go live on the website. There's now a link on the homepage, sarahmorganglobal.com, at the top, where you can literally book through for an exploration call. So we are now offering 2 exploration calls every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, so we're doing them at 12 and 12:30 because we try to do it in the middle of the day to try and capture as many people as we can, because we know you have audiences in Australia and audiences in America and Canada. So we know that at the Australia end, they might be late in the day for you, or the US end, they might be very early in the morning for you. But it's our way of trying to kind of find times that we can capture as many people as possible so that we can help you. So those calls are there if you want to chat to us about, if you're thinking about what you might want to do with Domain next and you're wanting a bit of guidance, or you're looking at the different options in the school and you're a bit like, I'm not sure really which one to go to, or you're wondering, what is it that Domain can do for me? What is it that I want to do with Domain? Those kind of free 30-minute exploration calls are there for those kind of conversations to help you, because we want to make sure those of you that are interacting with Domain are getting as much support as you need while you're sort of getting off of the ground with it. So they're now there. But in terms of what we're going to be doing, this is very exciting. Okay, I've got my little list. So the first thing is Domain workshops. So I always knew that we would do this. I'm not going to specify the frequency just yet, and I'm not going to specify the content just yet, because I'm pretty sure I know which one's going to come first, but I just need to collate and make sure that is correct, because when I'm collating, it's based on what feels really good to you guys and what feels really good to me. So Domain workshops, these are going to be 2-hour workshops. They're going to run at a lunchtime. Again, to capture as many people as possible for 2 hours, and they'll be very interactive, and they'll be around certain themes. So as an example, it could be around Martha, it could be around Africa, it could be around ancient civilizations. Obviously we talk about a few of those in the book and we've spoken about those today. It could be around using Domain in the home, it could be around using Domain with kids, it could be around Domain non-physical guides and helping you to receive. It could be around kind of nature and animals. It could be around the environment. It could be around more multiversal exploration. But the idea is these 2-hour workshops will be very interactive, very high energy, and you can participate and then have access to that content always through the School of Domain and energetics to use over and over again in the future if you want to, and they're going to be really fun. And so they're obviously going to be group format, and we're so excited. They're going to be high energy and just about helping lots of you to, you know, take what you're doing with Domain further in the areas that feel important and joy-filled to you. So we're really excited about those. First one coming soon, date to be confirmed, content to be confirmed, but we will share more. But the best way to keep abreast of what we're doing is to make sure you're on the Sarah Morgan Global newsletter, which is virtually on every single page of the Sarah Morgan Global website, just for ease. If you're on there, you'll get updated. We send emails out once a week and you'll get updated as to when things are actually available to book. So that's really exciting. Then Domain discovery evenings, so excited about these. So again, they're going to be probably a 2-hour event, more in the evening UK time. Replays will be available if you can't join live. I've just collated evening is the time that they should be done, and for those of you that know me, I don't ever really work evenings, so this is very interesting. I can feel the magic of it. These will be like a live kind of audience where you can kind of come onto a private Zoom call with myself, ask us questions, I'll receive from Domain an answer, and you know, you can really enjoy the experience, whether you're wanting to ask questions and get answers or whether you're just wanting to enjoy watching and being a part of the energy. They're going to be really, really beautiful and all about Domain discovery. So you might have questions you're just, you know, burning to ask about Domain, kind of wanting to know Domain's perspective on it or the insight that Domain can flow back. They're going to be really, really, really beautiful. They're probably going to happen once every couple of months is what I'm thinking at the minute. But again, they're just going to be wondrous and just so much beautiful energy. So that's the discovery evenings. Then also Domain one-to-one development days. Again, when I received this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. I wouldn't even have like expected that to come in. But these are going to be one-to-one days running from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. UK time, because we kind of do have to do it within UK hours because that's where I'm based. And you're going to get lots of backwards and forwards with us, where we're going to be giving you different things to go off and do with Domain, which are going to be bespoke and perfect for you. So it definitely isn't a one-fits-all process. Each one-to-one development day will be very specific and unique to the person that's doing it and what they want to achieve with Domain as well. And again, it's just really going to propel your development with Domain and be really exciting and high energy. I know discovery evenings, so scrummy. So the development days are going to be beautiful as well. We're going to be running them on Tuesdays. And so again, once they're available to book, we'll let you know. But what we will probably do is just liaise with you beforehand, just to get clear what it is you want to get from your development day. So we'll be receiving exactly the things that we're asking you to go off and do and supporting you with energetically as you're practicing and developing what you're doing with Domain. So they're going to be utterly wondrous as well. Then we're also going to be offering Domain longevity one-to-ones. So these are for those of you that want to work with myself and the Domain non-physical team directly for a long period, so 6 months. And we will be helping you in the areas that you're wanting to develop with Domain in that longevity way. So whether you're wanting to use it for your body, whether you're wanting to use it for like political or environmental things, these longevity one-to-ones, for those of you that really just want to build that longevity with what you're doing with Domain, that obviously you can continue to take forward as well, but you'll have us close by for 6 months as you're really kind of fleshing out and developing what you're wanting to do with Domain. So they're going to be beautiful as well. And then the other thing that's really exciting, and I kept getting whispers of this, but got clarity yesterday and this morning, we are going to be doing an in-person event. So this won't be until August next year. So I collated the date this morning. It's going to be the 6th of August, which is a Wednesday. Been guided it has to be kind of like midweek, so I'm trusting the energy. So we know for some of you that might involve taking the day off of work, but what an indulgent thing to do. What an indulgent thing to do. Take a day off of work so that you can come and be like at a Domain in-person event. Like, it's going to be such a lovely thing for you to do, to treat yourself with. So we're going to host that here in Alfriston, where I live, like the home of Domain HQ. although the dog's just sleeping on the chairs, she doesn't look very dynamic at Domain HQ. But it's such a beautiful place here. It's like in the South Downs. It's a very historical village with like 14th century buildings. You can make a weekend of it or a longer stay of it if you want to. There's loads of like Airbnbs around here, lovely hotels, lovely pubs. There's a vineyard. We could go up to the vineyard in the evening. So many possibilities, but it will be a full day event on the Wednesday. It will be so loving and just a chance to get together with those of you that are working with Domain. If you think where we're going to be by August, there's going to be more of us as well. So it's such a lovely intimate venue. It's going to be at the old chapel centre. I also help do their bookings because I just love being part of the community here. It's just beautiful. And it's just such a lovely venue. It's nothing that's really expensive or really kind of, I want to say, pretentious, but it's nowhere that's unnecessarily really fancy. It's just got the most lovely energy. And it's the perfect place because we want everyone when they're working with Domain to always just feel really relaxed and kind of happy and cozy, and just it's about that community feeling. And so the old chapel centre, they don't even know that I'm doing it. I booked it in the calendar already. I am the bookings manager. It's just such the perfect space to do it in, and it will just be wonderful. So again, as and when tickets go on sale for that, we'll let you know as well. But can you just see there's just so much that's going to be going on? It's like the School of Domain Energetics is going to be this thriving heartbeat of activity designed to just help as many people as are wanting to accelerate their development with Domain in like a whole different array of areas. So it's going to be buzzing, it's going to be fun, it's going to be dynamic. There's always going to be stuff going on that you can look forward to. You can choose what you want to dip in and out of. It's just going to be beautiful. There's no membership fees for the school. It's literally like we're just going to be offering lots of different things, and you can choose the things you want to get involved in or not. In the meantime, we'll always be here on social media. The book's always going to be here as well, so we're always going to be here. But the School of Domain Energetics is really getting off the ground and running and flying now. So I do just want to say a heartfelt thank you to those that have enrolled in the Domain Immersion Live experience, because you are the energies that have really got things going. And we also want to say an in advance thank you to anyone who participates in anything that we do there moving forwards as well, because you'll be part of that energy. And of course, a huge thank you to the Domain leaders, because none of this would be if we hadn't had those 12 months together, myself and the Domain leaders exploring and just discovering Domain together. So a huge thank you to everyone, and such a huge circle of love here. So much to look forward to. So like we say, if any of that sounds exciting to you, and you want to have a chat about any of that before it even goes live on the website, you can now book a free exploration call at any point. So the link to that's on the homepage. So we're kind of just putting as many things in place as we can, just to help as many of you as we can, and just help this community to truly flourish. Also, in future episodes of Domain TV, we've already got a couple of Domain leaders lined up who will be coming on as guests. I'm sure we'll have more over time as well, as and when they're ready to. And over time as well, perhaps others of you that are working with Domain and having incredible experiences about it, you can come on and talk about your experiences as well. So it won't just always be me talking. Further down the line, we'll be sharing kind of news of like things that we're doing that are really groundbreaking. It's just going to keep building. Of course, these are the early weeks of Domain TV, but they're going to keep building and enriching as well. So there's all of that to look forward to. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I need to say. I don't think so. So these offerings we've just spoken about, if you go to the website, Sarah Morgan Global, you'll see on the homepage that we say coming soon, because we just felt it was really important to just showcase we haven't just launched one program and then stopped. Our commitment is to honour Domain and you guys as much as we can. So they're there just to say these are coming, but just bear with me for a week or two, or however long it takes, just to kind of get all of the information properly onto the site, to get the exact dates for some of the things where the dates are still a bit TBC finalised, and obviously to get booking going and things like that. But if any of you are like, can you just save me a ticket for this or save me an enrolment for this, just let me know. Either you can inbox me through this page's inbox, or you can email me at hello@sarahmorganglobal.com. Or of course, if you want to book an exploration call that's free, you can absolutely do that as well. So there's a lot of exciting, buzzing energy going on. So we're really, really, really excited. And I just never know what each week's going to bring. I don't even know what next week's going to bring. It's just more and more good. So thank you for all being a part of this amazing energy. So we love you so much. We think that brings this week's Domain TV episode to a close. We love you. Any questions, let us know. As we always say, we're here to just help and support you as much as we can. And yeah, I feel like there is something else that someone's wanting to say, and I'm just kind of seeing what that is. Oh, the whole Domain core non-physical team. So Domain, Nelson, Sali, and God are all just sending everybody here a huge flipping hug to the maximum. So feel that love. Domain on fire. I know Em. It's so exciting. Em is one of our precious Domain leaders who will be coming on in a few weeks' time as well as a guest. So excited for that, Em. So yeah, so much goodness, so much excitement. Thank you for all being here, for being flipping epic, as we always say. It's a very exciting time. So we're so glad that you found us, or you're still with us. If you sort of came back after me being quiet for quite a long time, we just love that each and every one of you is here. So we love you. Have a flipping amazing weekend, a flipping amazing week next week, and we will see you for our next Domain TV episode 6 next Friday here on Facebook at 10 a.m. GMT. So we will see you there, either live or on replay. But in the meantime, sending you all so much love. Keep being awesome. We love you. Mwah.